The Swiss countryside is often portrayed as a postcard landscape. Snow-capped Alps, crystal-clear lakes, green valleys dotted with chalets. But beyond this beauty lies a living cultural system, a social fabric woven from tradition, sustainability, and a philosophy of harmony with nature. Here the land is not just soil to be cultivated. It is a shared heritage. Life does not revolve around relentless speed or expansion, but around balance, patience, and respect. To understand rural Switzerland is to see how land people and time interact in a symphony that defines not only a lifestyle, but also a national identity. At dawn, the hills emerge under veils of mist, their contours softened by the first golden light. Wooden rooftops darkened by age glisten under the morning sun. While cowbells echo from valley to valley. These are not random sounds, but signals of continuity. The Swiss rural landscape is meticulously cared for. Fields are organized along the natural flow of valleys with wheat, barley, and corn forming orderly patterns. Meadows rich with alpine herbs provide pastures not only for livestock, but also for biodiversity. Small villages cluster at the foot of mountains, surrounded by terraces of orchards and vegetable gardens. The image is picturesque, yet it is the result of deliberate choices where every parcel of land is cultivated with both utility and aesthetics in mind. One of the most striking aspects of Swiss rural life is its guiding philosophy. Farmers are not merely owners of land. They are stewards for the next generations. This stewardship is reflected in farming practices that prioritize long-term fertility over immediate gain. This philosophy emerges from centuries of living in an environment where nature's resources are finite and fragile. Alpine terrain does not allow for industrial-scale farming. Instead, it demands careful rotation of pastures, protection of soil, and respect for animal welfare. Cattle are not treated as mere production units, but as family members. Each has a name, a character, and a bond with the people who care for them. The relationship between farmer and animal is reciprocal. The land provides grass, the cows transform it into milk, and the milk becomes the foundation of local culture. Cheese. Walking through Swiss villages reveals how history is preserved in wood and stone. Chalets, many several centuries old, stand as enduring monuments. Their architecture is not accidental. Wide eaves protect walls from snow. Carved beams carry symbolic patterns, and wooden balconies are designed to dry hay or store tools. Every element is functional yet expressive. These buildings embody sustainability constructed from local timber, maintained through generations, and resilient against alpine winters. They are not just houses, but testimonies of a culture where architecture, climate, and community converge. Villages themselves are structured around communal spaces, churches, dairies, and markets, demonstrating how rural life has always balanced individual households with collective responsibility. If the chalet is the architectural symbol of rural Switzerland, cheese is its culinary and cultural emblem. In the center of many villages, dairies operate as communal workshops. The process is as precise as it is traditional. Fresh milk collected daily from cows grazing on alpine herbs is heated in copper vats. Using techniques refined over centuries, cheesemakers transform it into enormous wheels of Gruyère Emmental or Appenzeller. Each wheel is aged in carefully maintained cellars, regularly turned and brushed with brine. The AOP Appellation d'Origine Protégée label guarantees not just quality, but authenticity, a product made in accordance with centuries-old methods and rooted in specific regions. Cheesemaking is more than food production. It is a philosophy of patience. Wheels may take months or years to mature, and every stage requires human attention. In a global economy obsessed with speed, Swiss cheese culture insists that true value requires time. Rural life in Switzerland is inseparable from the seasons. Each season shapes the land, dictates the work, and influences the mood of communities. Winter lays a thick white blanket over the landscape, imposing silence and introspection. It is a time for repairing tools, maintaining buildings, and gathering around the hearth. Spring bursts forth with fresh grass and wildflowers. It is the season of planting, calving, and renewal. Birds return, fields are tilled, and hope is sown. Summer is abundance, meadows are lush, and haymaking begins. The Alpaufzug festival marks the ascent of decorated cows to high alpine pastures. These migrations are both practical and ceremonial, connecting humans, animals, and landscape in a centuries-old ritual. Autumn brings harvest apples, grapes, pumpkins, and cereals. Hillsides glow in red, orange, and gold, while communities prepare for the coming cold. It is a season of gratitude and transition. This cyclical rhythm ensures that rural life is not static, but dynamic, guided by the natural calendar rather than artificial deadlines. The countryside is not defined by isolation, but by community. Mutual aid has always been essential. Neighbors help one another gather hay, repair fences, or tend livestock during emergencies. Festivals, weddings, and funerals reinforce solidarity. The Wochenmarkt weekly markets held in villages and towns serve as social as well as economic spaces. Farmers bring cheese, vegetables, honey, and crafts to sell, but more importantly, they exchange news, advice, and companionship. Markets are living social networks binding individuals into a cohesive community. Swiss rural culture is vividly expressed through traditions and attire. During festivals, people wear tracked and traditional costumes unique to each canton. Women's dresses feature embroidered aprons and lace collars, while men's lederhosen or wool trousers reflect local identity. Festivals like Alpaufzug or yodeling competitions are not staged spectacles for tourists, but expressions of cultural continuity. Music, especially the resonant Alphorn, connects the present with ancestral rituals. These traditions are both symbolic and practical, anchoring rural life in shared identity. Contrary to romantic stereotypes, Swiss rural life is not frozen in a distant past. Electricity, internet access, and modern equipment are part of everyday routines, yet their integration is deliberate and measured. Technology enhances efficiency, milking machines, streamline work, weather apps, guide planting and harvesting, and solar panels reduce reliance on external energy. Yet none of these innovations displace the deeper values of stewardship, community, and respect for the land. What emerges is a balance where progress serves tradition rather than erodes it. This equilibrium explains why the countryside continues to attract not only those born into it, but also newcomers seeking authenticity. It offers the comforts of modernity without sacrificing the rhythms of heritage. The Swiss countryside, then, is more than geography. It is a state of mind, a way of living where slowness is not inefficiency, but depth, where labor is not mere production, but a bond with the earth, and where traditions are not burdens, but guiding lights for the future. In a world dominated by urban speed and pressure, this model stands as an alternative, a life of rootedness and meaning, where sustainability is necessity, community is essential, and harmony with nature is survival. To walk through a Swiss village, to hear cowbells echo across valleys, or to taste cheese aged in alpine cellars, is to step into a living philosophy. Here, the true measure of life is not endless accumulation, but the cultivation of what endures: land, culture, and human connection.